minutes of the organizational meeting of January 6, 2014. DJ had a change, which was corrected. See there, changes.
I didn't catch anything, so I think I saw it today, so it must have been.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
John?
Yes. Yes.
Once a year, yes. We does order once a year and change things. You're going to probably get 3 months to get the flow going. Okay. All right, we have a guest speaker today. It's Auburn resident, Mr. Albert Prairie. Hello, sir.
Am I on?
You're on.
I haven't been up here to the town hall lately. This is different than what was on the other building. When I was over there, I might mention that some years back, I was in charge of a waste disposal over there. And another gal and I were running. Maybe some of you remember us.
Very much so.
And we had a pretty good thing going until the company come in and said, we'll do it, and then got everything going with them, and then I understand they don't pay it all now. But anyway, that's beside the point. I'm here for a different point here. Just an introduction a little bit of myself. I have a little farm over here on Bartholomew Road. It's this little 8-acre farm, and it's been an organic farm for about 33 years. And I've been here in the community about 33 years. And in about probably 20 years ago, I learned about biodynamic agriculture, and I started practicing that on my farm. I don't want to say too much, there's too much to talk about there, but it is a method of farming a little beyond organic, in that it has an orientation of using nature's energies. And Rudolf Steiner was the founder of it, but he uses herbs and minerals to draw in the life forces from the universe and implant it again into the soils. In other words, anyway, it's a regenerative system. In my sight, it's the agriculture of the future. We will regenerate Mother Earth with it, if indeed it is valid. I have trying to get this to work on this little farm so that maybe I could make proof of it, a little bit of proof of it. We don't have any, we don't use any toxic materials on the farm, and we have, I have no problem with insects and so forth. I don't have to worry about that much. And it's been going on, as I said, for 30 years. And so our goal is to bring back this balance back in Mother Earth's soil, where we have used our systems of farming that is unnatural fertilizers. They're not in the cycles of nature, and nature has, you might say, involved them in her processes, and so we have broken the cycles of nature. And just like you go to a doctor maybe, and you want to get acupuncture, you can do that now, right? You're all aware of that. Well, the same principle, Dr. Commons here in Auburn, he practices that with his animals. I said, how does it work? He said, well, we don't know how it works, but it works, he says. And they don't tell us that, I said. He said, you don't tell us that. But I think some of us know pretty much how that works. See, it's these energies of Mother Earth that flow. And we have to bring her back to that balance. So our farming method is in trial and process of proving it. And I want to make the point that everywhere in Mother Earth, in universe, it always is in the process of bringing itself back to balance. Say, for a millennium, the stars have been up to them fall out. You don't see. And the geology of hundreds of years, thousands of years back, show this process of continual Mother Earth balancing herself. And she will balance herself. I think on the East Coast tonight, that this is her process of balancing. You see in the news maybe today of this cold winter we're having and the conditions we're having in the weather are part of her. She'll do it for us, but we'll pay the price for it. So I think the human beings need to work with nature for us to not unbalance her cycles. And I don't know if you've watched even the weather as it's put on the television, and always you see the weatherman person will have that map there and the cycles of goes around, right? Everything is cyclic, cyclonic. Okay? And that's what we use in biodynamic agriculture. We stir our processes and put them on the soils in homeopathic applications. See, the more dilute it is, the more potent it is. But so in our fertilizers on the farms, we want unbalanced her. And I think in our pharmaceuticals, many of them, most of them, I understand, are made from coal tar materials. They're organic compounds, they can just extract them, and from materials that come from oil. And then we get some from herbs and plants. But at any rate, when we get finished with them, they're denatured. They're not anything even if the heat denatures things like that. So I guess you'd say that my farm exists to kind of bring back this balance if we can. And I've received, I guess I'm frustrated. On that little farm, I live in this community, and my concern here is now is the honeybees. Maybe some of you have heard about this from Mr. Troyan. Introduced some of my material here, I think, before the Christmas time.
Right, taking your letter and pass that to them.
Yeah, I didn't know what you did with it and how much it went, but that's kind of, if you read that, you kind of have my story of my farm itself, where I've had, when I first started with that little farm, I had no problem with honeybees at all. I just, from Mr. Thomas up here, he's been the big bee man in Geauga County, and I got a hive from him, and that summer, I remember, it swarmed, and I didn't know what to do with it. I was so excited. Those bees were all over the place, thousands of them, and I didn't know what it was really. But at any rate, the fact that I did nothing to them, they just swarmed. And the first thing I knew, I had 8 hives. That natural. But by the time the 90s came in, and then we began to see those bees less active, we began to have to put in chemicals in the hives. But that's what the State Department of Agriculture fostered for us, and we put them in, but we didn't really get much benefit from it. And as time went on, we didn't have any more swarms. And then the next thing we knew, our bees began to get weaker, and that they die off. So today, I have no bees. I cannot raise them here in Auburn Township. So I don't know, I guess with the frustration I'm having, I can't know how to except that this community is where my bees feed. And I got to say something to the community. Well, maybe I could see what the trustees would think about it and let them understand this much. I talked to Gene McCune. He used to be a trustee here. And he didn't know, I don't know what you can count on down there, because he said a township government has no legislative powers. And I don't know how much communication powers. They used to have a town crier here that communicated, I think, wasn't that Bonnie, that had that town crier going? I think it was.
It wasn't Bonnie.
Anyway, it used to communicate with the village, and they knew what you all were doing. But then they said, well, all you do is do the roads and the streets and so forth, and that's not a big interest thing. But I don't know what you can do for me.
Well, one of the things we want to do is have you come up, because we do have Diane's here from the Geauga Maple Leaf, and I talked to Diane, or Joan Demersion. Right.
Yeah.
She I guess she's done an article with you before, and so she was going to contact you also to get you some little more exposure on the honeybee issue within the county. And as you told me, this is a worldwide problem. This isn't an isolated issue to our township, but it's this is happening basically all over the world right now.
Yeah. Well, I hope that maybe the media would be here. I don't know, is media here today?
You've got the media right there.
Maple Leaf, Geauga County Maple Leaf.
Well, I hope that maybe they would carry our message a little bit out of here. And I don't know what else I can do from this point of view, but I don't know if you're aware of the fact that I used to, after my bee started, I used to send off from the south. We get beehives from the south, and they would maybe last 1 year, possibly 2, and they'd be gone. And we'd buy them again. And the last time I bought 2 hives, and they did live through the first year, one of them especially. And then the next year, though, they were both gone. And so I just said, well, I gave up. And then I got this information coming through from people, and maybe it's been presented here already, these neonicotinoids, and different kinds of herbicides and so forth. Some of them actually impregnate the plant itself, and the bee, whatever part of the plant it gets, whether it's the blossom or wherever it is, it's going to get infected and it goes back. Well, it's something that doesn't come back. That's the main thing. They just go out and don't come back. And I say, well, we are, as Gene said the other day, well, 40% of all of our food comes from these bees. And this is not just happening here in Auburn. It's all over the United States and in Europe. And they're trying to outlaw these things. And I know that this government doesn't have Auburn Township legislative powers.
Nowhere near that.
No.
Well, one thing I can do, I was
you.
also going to, along with getting the information to the media, if you're all right, we can put your letter onto our website.
Yeah. I'm sorry?
We can put your letter on our township website.
Oh, yes, you could.
If you'd give us permission to do that, I could have that put on there.
Could that be a way of communicating?
Yes, because that's
the one we have right now.
Okay. Well, then, I think maybe most of my thoughts here are communicated to you guys and to the community as much as I can. But you can see the frustration, of it's been some years since I've had any bees. I don't know if I need to tell you that honey, pure honey, especially raw honey, is one of the best foods that you can get. And my apprentices on my farm, they get a little cold. I say, Mr. Berry, have you got any honey? They would take a spoonful of honey, the sore throat would be gone. It feeds the the cells of the organ of the body just by putting it in the mouth. So I guess my final statement here is that the corporations who make it are to blame, partly. The people who buy it are to blame. Now, as I said, I don't know what you guys can offer me here so far, except what you've said already, a little communication. But if you can give me any suggestions, where to go from here? What more can we do to awaken the people? The people here in Auburn Township are not aware of what they're doing to Mother Earth and her nature. I think this is all the way around the world. And so much of what we have as science now, especially when it's taken on by corporations who want only profit and the biggest they can get without any concern for the people themselves. And Monsanto, Jan said, well, what can you do about that? I mean, they got their money in Washington and they're paying off these guys over there they buy our senators and representatives. I think you guys, you're politically alert enough to know that's what's happening.
Well, one thing we might be able to do is we do have a Geauga Township Association, which is a combination of all the townships within Geauga County. We have a meeting coming up here in the next few weeks.
Next week.
Next week.
Next Wednesday.
So it's something we may be able to talk to them about, see if there's anything they can do to get the word out. So we start with our township, we go to the county, and then we'll see if there's any information or anything available. We have a statewide township association meeting coming up in February.
Would that need any of my participation?
I don't know. Maybe not. We'll just start out. We'll let you know if there's anything you can do, but at least we can get the word out for you. Okay, and like I said, if you've got get it in a couple newspapers here, get it on our website. You've started your grassroots campaign,
Because we know that the county also doesn't have legislative powers much. So you see, the states have pretty much stripped the local people.
That's right.
And we don't have any voice here.
Right.
We in the grassroots. Here's where everything should be happening. Down here on the grassroots, the people should be the ones who are stimulated, and the media won't tell us. Maybe you're aware of the media problem. I don't know how acute your consciousness is of that. Well, I don't want to take your time. I know you got lots to do, and so I said mostly what I want to say. If there's anything else that you.
Yeah, if anybody had any connections with state representatives, they may be able to come.
Well, I do that.
Yeah.
Huh?
I called them.
How did he react?
Huh?
How did he react?
Well, it's sort of like we'll do everything we can, Mr. Crary, and when you don't hear anything, you see that as long as you're not a threat to them, and you don't have enough money. I used to be the president of the Garfield High Teachers Association. Our representative in Columbus, we used to give him $500 a year. Boy, when we called him, he answered. Yeah. But unless we the people, we have the votes. We have everything that their money can buy. But we don't have the knowledge. We're not awake. So, okay.
Yeah, that's the economy. You can't even buy a decent politician for $500 anymore.
All right. So, thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you coming in and talking to us. And you've got my number, and you've been over to my house to talk. So, anytime you need me, just give me a call.
Please keep in touch.
Sure.
And if anything comes up, you'll let me know what I can do. And anything that's happening, if you'll let me know. What it is, and you feel like.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, Eldred.
Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome to stay for the remainder of the meeting, or if
I
you have,
wanted to know if I could do that.
or you can. I mean, if you have something you want to go because it's cold and to get home, you're also allowed to do that. Also, yes, please.
Well, I've given up my classes tonight to come here on this cold night. I haven't been to a trustee meeting because I teach classes on Monday nights. And so if it's okay, I'd like to sit in and
Absolutely. You're always welcome.
see what's happening here. Don't get here very often.
Okay.
It's been about 16 years since we've been over here.
91-ish, 2-ish, wasn't it?
3.
Yeah, that's 20 years then. Okay, and we'll go on scheduled reports. Chief Phillips.
The only thing I have to report is we had a structure fire on Saturday the 12th. Thanks to working smoke alarms, the occupants got out safely, and we were able to get there soon and extinguish the fire. But relatively little damage to the house.
Okay, congratulations.
Weather-related issue, bringing it on with this cold weather. All the furnace equipment's running heavy, and we had a few people with broken pipes and stuff like that. That's all I have to report.
Okay, Chief, we appreciate that. And we're moving our meeting to Thursday at 7.
Right.
Okay. All righty. Reports, Mr. Everly.
Well, I'm going to steal one of the things off the bottom there, and we did receive the annual highway system mileage certificate. We haven't added anything this year, so we don't need to sign that.
Okay.
And of course, my Nancy should get back up to the engineer. We had one other thing I wanted to do. We have a copy of the purchase agreement for the truck, and there's a couple of little items that we're kind of haggling with them about option-wise and whatnot. And we'd like to do is, if it would, for the cab and chassis, to maybe put a little leeway onto this thing so that there's what is that thing, Emmerich, something in the shifter kit. Did Mike talk to you about it? Or?
On the 100% push button? Or
Yeah. So I'd like to, if we could just do $1,000 so we have a cushion.
Sure.
And it would change it to $70,884.
A small percentage.
Yeah, but it may come in less, but it'll give us a little more negotiating. So that's my motion.
Okay. Second. John?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And so then Mike will get back with you, Fred, with the actual penny number here. This maybe early in the week he will.
Okay.
And then
I've spoken to Middlefield Bank about financing, and their rate is around 3% less. And I imagine something like that. Right. Also, call to Key Bank. I'd like to contact the job company and see if we can get some advice.
we can just set it up for that 4 payments. That'd be best for us.
The person at Key Bank that I had send information, he does our banking, and again, he came in and kind of did a song and dance, and it seems they're being very aggressive with pricing and different packages and systems that they're that's why I said it might be worth looking at not only them but the other banks also, because I think right now there's a little more competition that seems to be going on.
Okay.
So I have no, love lost key bank per se, but it's just the fact that they kind of flagged me on the fact that maybe we should look at some of the different local banks around here and see what they have going on.
As I mentioned at the last meeting, we do have the long-awaited crop reports for the orange juice crops forecast. So as soon as we do the reports, we don't have it listed, but we'd like that presentation.
Okay. So we want to just go through everything here real quick and maybe do that.
We've got a little bit of
okay.
A little longer than normal.
TJ?
Three things going on. We've been talking repeatedly about this furnace, and of course furnace was down over here for the first Arctic snap we had. The guys strung a bunch of heaters in there, and we drained some pipes, and poured antifreeze in the drains and everything else, and we survived that with no damage. The furnace is up and running, and back in business over that. Bills, we haven't done that dedicated line for the sump yet, I don't think, but we're going to. That was for the light. That was the light. The light up there. He got the, I don't know, late last week he had the quote up here, but I don't see it up here today, but for that dedicated line. Did make some change on there right now, though. What do you do?
I'm not aware of changes.
You upgrade a breaker or something?
Well, we're eliminating the GFIC down in the wet area, moving upstairs to its own breaker in the box.
That's what he did in the interim. So, anyway, that's that. Mr. Curry brought up a point in his presentation there about East End Town Crier. Now, you were a contributor to that, I remember. That was a monthly newsletter put out by the Auburn Community Club, which, it's dormant, I guess would be the word, it's the best word. It did have some money at the end. I'm not sure what became of that. That was never a function of the township.
It kept us informed.
Right, but that was never a function of the township. That was the Auburn Community Club, and like a lot of civic groups, they kind of fallen by the boards as people get busier, It did leave a vacuum when that went away. Like you said, kept you informed what was going on. Diane's working for the Maple Leaf, which is a weekly. Back then, we also had the daily Times Leader too. So there, as things changed, it's left a hole as far as getting communications out. Everything's gone electronic, and we're trying to fill these voids as we move along. And one thing we've been working on since the end of the year was, based on the success we had with getting notification out for the sneak a peek at the park, developing an email list here at the township, a voluntary, do you wish to be informed of upcoming events or road projects or fire department events or whatnot, sign here and give us your email. And we've been in touch with the people that put KCE's thing together. Ours will never be, I don't assume, as big as KCE's. But we're looking to fill that void getting information out there.
So we could get an email letter.
What we're trying to do is add to our website an email contact list. And the township would put out, I can't tell you how often it would be. I'm sure it would be for pancake breakfast would be probably the next event, maybe.
Those events are all on here now.
Yeah, they are, but do you wanted an email form, I guess is the point. Rather than going to visit the website, would you rather have us contact you, which goes back to the town crier being delivered to 1,200 homes in the township. I mean, it'd be a voluntary thing, obviously. We're not looking to put out a newsletter immediately, but it's a void that we're going to try to fill. I've got some information here. There is some cost involved in it. It's monthly, somewhere it would be south of $30 a month. But there's also a 3-month trial on it for no cost. So we're looking for a way to incorporate that.
Yeah. So even if we did get into the initial trial mode, maybe that'd be another forum that we'd have to help get the word out for you.
Another way to communicate, you're saying?
Yep. Well, we're trying to fill that void, which I agree has been there for a while.
That would keep us abreast of what you're doing.
And what we're doing, it's not going to, like I said, that Auburn Community Club they were involved in quite a few things.
It would touch the people that they could at least have a chance to be involved.
We're trying, yeah. So anyway, there's that.
Thank you.
We're working on it. Going to talk to our girl Mallory Taylor and see how we can incorporate this into probably the homepage. I think we're going to sign up for this 3-month trial and see how it goes.
Yeah.
So there's that. The other thing I've been involved with at the last County Township Association, Mike made mention of that. We initiated, the membership initiated a scholarship program. County Township's had some funds available there for quite some time, without a real dedicated purpose for what to do with it. And we've developed, in conjunction with Kent State Jaga Campus, is a program offering 2 scholarships at this point, because it's fully funded right now. It's not a fully funded endowed scholarship. It's fledgling at best. But the initial thing will be for 2 scholarships of $250 each to students who are a resident of Jaga County, attending KSU Jaga or at the Regional Academic Center, which is the new place over in Twinsburg. Eligible students will have earned at least 12 credit hours, so they would have some college experience. This wouldn't be a new thing. And a minimum GPA of 2.5 will be required. Very basic requirements. But we put together an application, mission statement essentially over here, and Kent State on the front. And this is a rough draft, but in the back it'll have the County Township logo. There's a few of them here if anybody's interested. Like I said, these aren't the ones that are... we'll dress them up a little bit more yet, but it's a program. It's underway. It'll be available for this fall's for a couple kids this fall. How it's going to go is applications will be due. We're going to bring in students. The final cut will give a presentation at a County Township Association meeting. And once again, like I said, this is not an expansion of government or anything such thing. County Township Associations had some money without a real clear goal of what to do with it. And I think this is a good direction to go with it.
How many these scholarships are they planning on giving?
The initial thing will be 2 $250 scholarships. The goal is to get to an endowed scholarship, which requires $25,000. It's not going to all come from County Township Association.
Yeah, it'll take us a while.
It's not going to happen. Contacting some local businesses, and then just chase it. I'm going to encourage you guys and anybody else.
Jaga Growth.
Jaga Growth. Well, this will be a regular feature now at County Township Association meetings as to how to grow this, how to get to that endowed thing, and
how do they come up with the endowed?
Kent State holds that.
They hold that.
They hold that, and then it's perpetual essentially after that. If you get to the $25,000, they're kind of like the bank. No, they won't. They wouldn't award it, but they would be the way the money sits with them, and for tax purposes and federal law reasons, it sits with them. But the County Township Association, would be the distributors of the scholarships, and of course, the goal would be you get to that level. I think we started with $1,000 a year pledge from the Township Association for 5 years. So you'd leave $500 essentially after the first year. you'd have about 10% of, after 5 years, you'd have 10% of the money for the endowment. With the goal, like I said, talking to local businesses and local, anybody wants to contribute to it. And we have found some private individuals that kicked in already. So it's going to benefit Jogga kids that are going to Jogga school. So that'll be a regular thing now at the Township Association. This is how to grow that and reach the goal.
Get kind of feet on that finally. Yes.
Yeah, like I said, we
discussed this for the last 3 years.
Right. I was happy to see these because it kind of put,
moving forward.
Yep. That's all I have.
All right, Fred.
We presented warrants 1420 through 1435, totaling $27,833.44 for your approval. And I've also submitted to the board the following reports for your review: fund status report, revenue status report, appropriation status, all as of today. We already talked about the pound rate for the road department truck, so that's all I have.
Good. Thank you, Fred. Okay. Well, we have one other bit of business before you go on your dog and pony here. We want to appoint Jeff Pulsford to finish out the remaining term, or Steve Fogel, who is retiring from the board. So we've already interviewed Jeff, and I think we're good to go on that. So I'll make a motion to appoint Jeff to finish the term expiring 12/31/14.
I'll second.
John?
Yes. PJ?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes. Okay, and any public comment before we go into the road? Yes.
Yes. Again, my interest is with warrants, and I noticed there was one numbered 1429. Sustaingus, is that, I have to conclude that may have been in regard to the furnace?
Yes.
But can you clarify the $3,100?
Yep.
Okay. And warrant 1423 for $15,840 and change to Cargill. Road salt?
Salt.
Salt, okay. And almond oil, number 1431 for $1,881 and change. Oil for what?
Off-road diesel.
I'm sorry?
Off-road diesel fuel.
Oh. For
Off-road loader. I think
okay.
it's off-road.
Okay, thank you.
Loader, backload.
Okay, John, the floor is yours.
Okay, long-awaited crop report we have prepared. We're going to have power up here. You go on. Let me glean from the crop report. There will be orange juice. Some will be taken with a little bitter.
All right, any public comment relative to the road program?
Great job. Very nice presentation. You don't see it, you don't realize what the big picture is.
Good job, guys.
Unless you were here in 96, 97, 98, and you saw all that building going on. Yep.
It was like our street, I watched it. It's over a 5-year period of time, building 25 houses, and by the time the last house is in, the road is gone because of the construction vehicles. Just destroyed it.
Yeah, if we'd have had that luxury of of them not putting the wear surface on. Put a base down, build 80% of the houses.
Take the money's credit.
And, they always just, the engineers, they just said, they just couldn't, because of, the contractor being insolvent or this or that.
Sure.
They just couldn't come up with a good vehicle to make sure that the money would be there to put the surface on it. But you've got a couple of roads right now that have been in for 6 or 7 years. There's 2 houses.
Oh, yeah. Maybe there.
And I mean, these are complete drains. The good news is there's not a ton of traffic on it, but the sun is still beating on the asphalt.
Still got plowing.
Right. They're still doing the maintenance on it.
Long driveways.
Yeah.
So I think this won't be the last time we have this discussion between now and August, but at least it's some good food for thought.
Yeah, thank you for staying over, Gordy.
Oh, no problem, sir.
Alright, and just to say, we still have Christmas tree grant going for another week. Dropping off trees till 31st, Gordy?
I'm sorry?
Christmas tree.
Oh, yes.
Drop off till the 31st.
Yep.
If anybody has to get rid of any Christmas trees, which a lot of people hold on to them this long, but
How'd they show up?
all right.
Stands over roots.
Okay. Additional comments? Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
John?
Yes, BJ?